Hello friends, welcome to our kitchen. I'm excited to walk you guys through some ways that we designed our kitchen, built it partially on our own, and how we saved some money along the way. We built our home about 2.5 years ago, and we designed the kitchen, sourced everything, found some cabinet builders, found an online cabinet shop, assembled it all ourselves, and I'm gonna walk you guys through that process. But it is the end of summer and our garden is taking off. We have tons of zucchini, so I decided to make some zucchini bread with you all today. It's Sunday afternoon, and whenever I put the girls down for their naps, I love to bake something for the week. I usually do this most Sundays, so I'm just gonna bring you guys into my kitchen today, bring you along. If you were here, I would make you a brown sugar shaken espresso, but since you're not here in person, grab a cozy drink, let's hang out together and talk all about kitchen design. And we've been working on a project outside, but I'm so excited to be partnering with Walmart in today's video to share an outdoor fire pit space with you guys. We've tossed around putting a fire pit out away from our house a little bit. That way we can enjoy a fire on cooler nights, which are coming. They're not yet, but they are coming. And I picked out a fire pit on walmart.com and 4 Adirondack chairs that we could use for our fire pit. So we started out by picking out the location on our land to see where would be the best view, somewhere that was far enough away from the house, but also close enough to walk to. We found our spot and we decided to add some pea gravel and some edging around the area just to make it a little nicer, and then we wouldn't have to weed eat around it. So we started out by picking out some stone. I matched the stone with the kind that we already have in our raised garden bed area. We went and picked that up. Then we laid some fabric down to prevent weeds coming up, and then we picked up some pea gravel and shoveled that in, and then we added our picnic table to one side and then our fire pit and chairs to the other. Taylor, the kids, and I have roasted some s'mores and had a cozy night once it cooled off a little bit, but I'm very excited to use this all fall long. So I'll be sure to link all of those items down below if you would like to check them out. Walmart is running amazing rollback deals right now, especially on patio furniture and decor. I listed out some of my favorite Walmart outdoor finds, like this sectional that is almost $300 off. I also loved the rug with the checkered pattern. They had several different chairs that were on sale as well. Our favorite rockers that we have on our back porch are on sale for $58. That's almost half off. They also have tons of serveware that is 50% off. I know I've shared those collections all summer long and we have used them so much, so that's a great time to stock up on those. They also have an umbrella with a really cute fringe detail for $37. So I love those. Here is a clip of our rocking chairs. And then I also wanted to share some kitchen finds, like our espresso machine. I ordered this from walmart.com a few years ago. And then I also have some more kitchen staple items. The runner by my sink is from Walmart. Our microwave is from Walmart. I have some artwork in our kitchen from Walmart. They also have things like touchless lamps, faux plants, canisters for coffee or your flour and sugars, and then my favorite glass cup that I've been using every day. So I wanted to mention all of these as well. If you would like to shop any of these items, I will have them all linked down below in my description box. Thank you to Walmart for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Now let's get into the kitchen design and making some zucchini bread. I usually leave my KitchenAid mixer in the corner, but I thought it would be easier to talk to you guys over here. So I've got my recipe wrote down on a piece of paper. I got this recipe from my grandma several years ago. It's very simple. I throw everything into one bowl and it turns out just fine. You can turn these into muffins or bread and they're delicious. So if you have zucchini growing and you have more than you know what to do with, these are a yummy treat. So today I'm gonna make zucchini bread. So while I'm making these, I'm going to walk you guys through the design process. I'm not gonna walk you guys through the recipe, but I will have a picture on the screen for you if you would like to make them as well. I feel like having a screenshot is just easier, but I make these all the time and they are So yummy. When we built our home, I had a Pinterest board of inspiration kitchens that I loved. Any kitchen that I loved a piece or all of it, I would pin it to that board. Then once I got probably 50 pins or more, I kind of saw a repeat pattern of things that I liked, that I was drawn to. And then I wrote those out on a list of things that I maybe wanted to add into our kitchen design. Now, this was before ChatGPT times, so that would have been very helpful and useful when building our kitchen, but we did draw our kitchen layout out with pen and paper and kind of got the layout and the flow and the feel of what our kitchen would look like. I knew that overall I wanted it to feel warm and white. I knew I wanted our kitchen cabinets to be white. I knew I wanted some sort of quartz or marble countertops. I wanted a farmhouse sink. I also designed our kitchen to have a window that was over our sink so I could look out into our backyard. We eventually put in my raised garden beds right off of our back porch, so it's directly out from my kitchen sink window, and I'm so happy that we did that. That is one of my favorite parts of the kitchen, is having the big window, and the sides do swing out, so that's really fun whenever the weather is a little bit cooler. We knew we had some areas in our kitchen that we could splurge on, and then areas that we could also save. So when we built our house, we had certain numbers allotted for certain things. So we had an overall kitchen budget that we really tried to stick to. And one way that we saved money was by ordering our cabinets online from a company called Nelson Cabinetry. Now, they make custom cabinets with real wood. They are pre-painted. The only downfall is that you have to assemble them yourself, which was no big deal for us because my husband is very handy. My dad was also able to help install our cabinets, so we built them and installed them all ourselves, and we were able to use their website to create a mock draw-up. We were able to customize all of the cabinets, each piece, where every single thing went. It was basically like working with a custom cabinet shop. We just did it all online, which was a little scary, but we saved over half of the bid that we got from another cabinet place. And I'm really happy with how our cabinets have held up. They were easy to put together, and we were able to add some little details that gave it that custom look. Okay, I need to melt 2 sticks of butter, so let me do that real quick. I really wanted to do some wood tones in our cabinets, but I decided to instead add in our wood tones with our floating shelves and our hood vent. I knew I wanted to have a mixture of upper cabinets and also shelves because I love decorating them all year round and having pretty functional pieces of decor. So I added 2 in between the cabinets and our refrigerator area in our kitchen, and they are more wider shelves, so I think they are about 5 feet wide. I did space them quite a bit apart. I could have done 3 shelves, but I opted to do 2. That way I could have taller artwork pieces on that bottom shelf. And I've created this side of the kitchen to be my coffee and baking nook. I have my espresso machine. I also have my KitchenAid mixer usually in the corner. I've got my flour, sugars, and then on this wall, I made this more of like our feature wall, and I added the upper cabinets to this wall. However, I wanted to again display our kitchenware, so I decided to add glass doors to the cabinets on either side of the hood vent, and then we also went with glass on the top cabinets as well. And the cool part is we got these cabinets in with the glass, but they also sent us the pieces that we could put them in as solid wood doors as well. So we have the option to put the wood piece in, or we can use the glass. So we opted for the glass, and I love them. They're really tall cabinets and they hold a lot, so I'm very happy with that. Now for our floating shelves and our hood vent, that's what I use to warm up the kitchen. I don't know the stain color or the type of wood, but we found a local cabinet maker that gave us a really reasonable price for these custom pieces. I showed him a hood vent on Pinterest that was kind of my inspiration. Did a more neutral warm brown, something that would be a nice contrast against our flooring, which is more of a lighter wood color. We also ordered the brackets that hold our shelves up so they're not completely floating we did add more of that antique brass look to those. And then I also pulled in the antique brass in different things like our cabinet pulls and knobs, and then I have this little rack above my stove that holds our pot holders and spoons that I reach for often. For the lower cabinets, we opted for more deeper drawers versus actual cabinets, and I am so glad we did that. I find that it's just easier to access everything too, but we did do a mixture of both for certain areas of the kitchen for a specific purpose. So I do have some of my seasonal pieces in more of the cabinets, and then I have more of our everyday things that I reach for often, those in the pull-out drawers. I also wanted to have our trash can in our cabinets as well. That way it was hidden and we didn't have a separate trash can. I also shopped around for things like lighting and our sink and faucet, and we got really good deals on all of those. We went with a wicker style lighting pendant to also warm up the all white kitchen, and I'm really happy that we did that. I haven't gotten tired of them at all. I love the texture that they add, and they're also kind of an oversized look. One area that we splurged on for our kitchen budget was our countertops. So we went to a local countertop store, and they had lots of different slabs that we got to walk through and look at. We decided to go with a quartz that was man-made, and that saved us a little bit versus getting a quartz that was completely natural. And we went with one that is white and it has some veining, but it's not the really big gray veining. I feel like that was very trendy. I wanted something that was a little more subtle, that would be more timeless, so had some definition in it. So I'm really happy with our countertops. They also hold up great. They clean really well. They're really shiny, so I am very pleased with them. We're really happy with them. We went with a more round edge and round corners to give a softer look. I wait a little while to do our kitchen backsplash because I honestly could not decide what I wanted to do. So about a year after living here in our home, we installed Backsplash, and my husband did this himself. That saved a lot of money as well. And I went with a boutique tile that looks like a very expensive version, but it is much more affordable. Also helped save. We went with white grout. It gives a very earthy, organic, I think timeless look, and it adds a little bit of shine. The two pieces are the same, so very happy with our backsplash. Under our shelves, our cabinets, and then over by our kitchen sink underneath those two shelves. We actually had some leftovers, so we decided to add some backsplash to our living room built-ins. We went with a large kitchen island because we knew we wanted 4 bar stools, like wide bar stools. That way we could sit up here. We could have this for hosting and entertaining. I don't regret having a larger island at all. We also put our microwave in the kitchen island just to kind of tuck it away, and then it's not on our kitchen countertops. Pantry door, I found it at a local antique store, and it was unfinished. It didn't have any of the glass in it, but I loved the look of it. I loved the raw wood. My mom and I had went shopping for different antique pieces while I was building my home just to add some character in our home, and that was one of them. Waited on painting it and adding a handle and all the things, but we have just a little lock latch on the inside so we can just reach through, unlatch it, and go in and out. Next to my stove, I put in a cabinet for all of my spices, and that's probably one of my favorite things in the kitchen. Pulls open, and I've got all of my spices right here on 3 different shelves. And then on the other side of the stove, I wanted it to kind of match, having the skinnier cabinets, and I have a spot for all of my baking sheets over there. At the end, I have our trash can, which is really handy. It's not super close to the stove, but it's also fairly close, so when I am cooking, it's within arm's reach. So there's so much time spent in the kitchen, especially for our little family. If you're new to my channel, I am a mom of 3. We are constantly in the kitchen keeping the little ones fed, and I enjoy baking so much. I love our kitchen. Of course, there are probably things that I would maybe change if I could. I think whenever you build a home, there are always things like after you order them or get them in, or even after you install it, that you think, oh, I should have moved that an inch or two, or should have finished this out a little differently. But overall, I am extremely happy with how our kitchen turned out. I think I eventually might paint our kitchen cabinets. I would love to do a warm taupe color, but at the same time, I really love the clean, classic look of the white. The finish is so smooth and it's easy to clean, so I really don't have a huge desire to paint them anytime soon. If I did, I would probably have it professionally done. That way it would be nice and smooth and easy to clean. All right, we are now officially done with our zucchini bread. We're gonna pop it into the oven at 325 degrees for about 45 to 55 minutes until your toothpick comes out clean. Now this is a double batch of zucchini bread. Usually I will half this recipe and put it in 2 different bread pans, but today I'm just doing one big loaf, so it will take a little bit longer, probably over an hour. But if I'm in a pinch for time, I will make these into zucchini muffins, and that's really easy for my kiddos to just grab and go. They're a great breakfast, a great treat. All right guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you for coming along with me and chatting all things kitchen design and seeing our outdoor fire pit. I'm so excited for the upcoming season ahead. Make sure to subscribe if you would like to stick around. I do lots of decorating, seasonal decorating, and sharing tips on making our home cozy along the way. Thank you guys for spending some time with me today, and I'll see you all very soon in my next one. Bye friends.